Even if we only feel it.
My throat gagging again.
That's when you saw the
Fine all day till I
I know,
get this going.
have no soccer. I guess kids want to play soccer.
Okay, we're good, Jane?
You know, they
We're
get
good, Oscar?
I don't know. It's a shame.
Good evening, everyone. This is the Board of Trustees regular meeting. It's September 25th, 2018. The time is 7:30 p.m. On the dot, this is meeting number 2018-17. Please take the roll.
President Barry?
Here.
Trustee Phelan will not be here tonight. Trustee Vorder?
Here.
Trustee Streit? Yes. Trustee Stalker?
Here.
Trustee Olenichek?
Here.
And Trustee Desmond?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Would everyone rise for the pledge, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 3 tonight is public comments. We have one public comment listed. Barb Koss, if you could come to the podium, please. You're going to talk about the shopping center development. Our procedure is we ask if you live in Oak Lawn, if you could state your name, and then you have 3 minutes. Welcome.
Do I need this?
Yep.
Okay. My name is Barb Koss. I live at 9601 South Keeler Avenue in Oak Lawn. I've been a resident of Oak Lawn for 30 years. I'm here to discuss the landscaping issue that I brought up at the building commissioners meeting last week with the in reference to the people that are redoing the Kmart Center. They very explicitly said at that meeting that they were not going to upgrade the landscaping that is directly across the street from me on the southwest corner of the center. And I was extremely upset at that meeting, and I made my information known that these trees are all half dead. And I do have pictures on my iPad. I would be glad to show you if somebody is not familiar with this. And they're really very good pictures. I can just give you a quick show of that. But these trees are over 40 years old. They're old pine trees. The greenery is half dead. They're so old that there's probably 15 feet of tree trunk that is standing there that people can walk underneath, and that's where kids sit and gather. The other concern is the cement sidewalk going down into the center of the parking lot. It's decaying and it's crumbled, and they said they weren't going to fix that either. I was promised, as an appeasement, I guess, a phone call to resolve these issues, and no one from that company or landscaping or anyone bothered to call me back, which really upsets me. So, especially since, you know, I was in the front page of the Oak Lawn Reporter saying everything was resolved, and everything is not resolved, especially because they haven't called me back. So I was not satisfied with that. I am still not satisfied with that, and I am asking the board not to approve their requests until they resolve my issue, because they obviously are not a very reliable or professional company if they don't have the courtesy of responding to an issue where they very explicitly promised that they would call me back. And I would like to show you a couple pictures so that you have an idea what I'm referring to.
While you're looking for the pictures, let me respond that I was at that meeting, and I'd like to make it clear that, first of all, sidewalks will be repaired. It's the village code, so that shouldn't be an issue. The second thing is that the trees that were being discussed, I don't remember exactly what the conversation was, but I do know that they promised to clean up the mess. Beyond that, we'll have some landscaping plans that we'll approve, and at that time we'll do a better job of getting a commitment. You have to understand that this development is in the very early stages. They've just purchased the property, they've come up with a very nice design, and I'm sure they'll follow through with it. We're going to hear from representatives tonight, and I think they can answer your questions.
I'm familiar with it.
Thank you.
Yes, Larry?
Thank you, Mayor and Board. I, too, was at that meeting, and I didn't think you were angry at all. I thought your comments were appropriate, but also the principals of Hubbard Street were present, and they turned around to you and they indicated that they would absolutely address your concerns. Let me try to help you a little bit with government and how it works. Sometimes slow, sometimes cumbersome, and the steps you have to go through.
Sometimes?
They are going to have to go before another body called our Architectural Design and Review Commission, at which time they will be presenting detail on their signage, a detail on the colors, the various elevation changes of the proposed building, and landscaping. So they have to come back on that, and they'll be talking to their entire team, engineering and architecture, and I have no question, and representatives are here tonight, and I'm sure that they're listening carefully to your comments, that they will be calling you and they will be talking to you. But that's a process. They're not going to tomorrow, based on the board's consideration tonight, be finished with the government review process. They still have to go before that important board, all volunteer citizens appointed by the mayor and the board of trustees as well. And I know they'll give your comments all, in my opinion. I understand your concerns. Kind of ironic, though, I think it's important to note that of all the shopping centers in Oak Lawn, to be very truthful with you, that green belt on the south end on 96th Street is one of the wider green belts that exists, and there's an opportunity to upgrade that green area as well as improve the sidewalk, and I know they know that because they've talked about green, and that's a big element of the shopping center, is to eliminate some of the asphalt concrete appearance that a lot of shopping centers that were developed in the 60s, 70s, and 80s in Oak Lawn, they didn't have the requirements that boards today require them to participate in. So it'll be an improvement. Thank you, Mayor.
Mayor.
Thank you, Larry. Trustee Warder.
Yeah, Mrs. Cost, I am your trustee. Yeah, I called you. No, I didn't get a call from you, did? Oh, well, I'm sorry. I was very busy today. I haven't got to my calls. All right, but I can assure you, I've been working very detailed on this project. It is probably the most exciting project that has occurred in our district. I know you're impacted by it as you live right on the corner, and I can assure you that we'll be in communication and we'll make something there, okay, that you'll be happy with. At least try to be happy. It's kind of hard to live when you're next to a commercial development like that, but we'll make it the best we can, okay?
Very much. Okay, I'm going to move on to our conflict of interest disclosure, item 4. Does anyone have a conflict to disclose with any item on tonight's agenda? Hearing none, we have a proclamation. This is item number 5, and this is the 2018 Fire Prevention Week. Whereas the Village of Oak Lawn, Illinois is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living and visiting Oak Lawn, and whereas fire is a serious public safety concern, both locally and nationally, and homes are the locations where people are at the greatest risk from fire. And whereas home fires killed 2,735 people in the United States in 2016, according to the National Fire Protection Association, and fire departments in the United States responded to 352,000 home fires. And whereas the majority of U.S. fire deaths, this is 4 out of 5, occur at home each year, and whereas the fire death rate per 1,000 home fires reported to the U.S. fire departments was 10% higher in 2016 than in 1980, and whereas Oak Lawn residents should identify places in their own homes where fires can start and eliminate those hazards, whereas working smoke alarms cut the risk of dying and reported home fires in half, and whereas Oak Lawn residents should install smoke alarms in every sleeping room, outside each sleeping area, and on every level of the home. And whereas Oak Lawn residents should listen for the sound of the smoke alarm, and when it sounds, respond by going outside immediately to the designated meeting place. And whereas Oak Lawn residents who have planned and practiced a home fire escape plan are more prepared and will therefore be more likely to survive a fire, whereas Oak Lawn first responders are dedicated to dedicated to reducing the occurrence of home fires and home fire injuries through prevention and protection education, and whereas Oak Lawn residents are responsive to public education measures and are able to take action to increase the safety from fire, especially in their own homes, whereas the 2018 Fire Prevention Week theme, look, listen, learn, be aware, fire can happen anywhere. effectively serves to remind us that we need to take personal steps to increase fire safety in our home. Therefore, I, Dr. Sandra Berry, Mayor of the Village of Oak Lawn, do hereby proclaim October 7th through the 13th, 2018, as Fire Prevention Week throughout the village, and I urge all residents of Oak Lawn to be aware of their surroundings, look for available ways out in the event of a fire or an emergency, respond when that smoke alarm sounds by exiting the building immediately, and support the many public safety activities and efforts of the Oak Lawn Fire EMS Fire Rescue Services during Fire Prevention Week 2018. So let me sign that. Thank you very much. Chief Mavro, George, anything you want to add about fire safety and prevention? Thank you. Thank you. While he comes up, I just want to say, you know, if your smoke alarm is more than 10 years old, even 8 years old, maybe think about replacing it. These things don't work after a certain time, and you don't want to find out at a bad time when that happens. So, yes. Go ahead, sir. Thank you.
Mayor Burry, Clerk Winman, Mr. Deachin, trustees, I'd like to update you on a few items under the direction of Chief Mavergeorge, Deputy Chief Riddle. We've initiated a safety initiative, not only with smoke alarms, but also the increase in safety with dryers. Through 2013 and 2015, there were an estimated 109,700 multifamily residential building fires reported to fire departments within the U.S., causing an estimated 405 fatalities, 3,975 injuries, and a staggering $1.4 billion in property loss here in the United States. An estimated 2,900 closed dryer fires in residential buildings are reported to U.S. fire departments each year. Those fires estimate 5 deaths, 100 injuries, and $35 million in property loss. With that, we've shown an increase here of closed dryer fires in our multifamily buildings. So with that, we're going to start an initiative here to educate the residents here of Oak Lawn through the website. We're going to get everything out in education. We actually started last evening. I met with one of the condo associations, and we're working through a process for that. The leading cause and factor of ignition is failure to clean your dryer. If you haven't had the dryer vent or the dryer cleaned in the last year, it's highly recommended to do that. Folks that might be older or more wisdom figures that don't use those items as much, please understand that you might not have to clean it as often. Those of us that have younger children and seems like the washer and dryer never shuts off, you probably need to have it done a little more often. Every time you go to use your dryer, please pull out the lint trap, empty it out, make sure it's clean. Every once in a while, run the vacuum cleaner in there to get any excess lint out of there. You want to make sure that the dryer vent is clear using either a rigid metal or flexible metal. We highly recommend that you don't use any of the plastic, soft, flexible stuff, as it does degrade and collect the lint, which is the highly flammable part. On the outside of your home, as we approach, unfortunately, winter here in the Chicagoland area, you want to make sure that the snow doesn't build up on the excess outside of the dryer vent where it exits the building. That will also increase the time it's drying. So if your dryer seems to be running a lot longer, more than likely the vent is either clogged or starting to become clogged. A second initiative that we're doing, we're preparing to partner with the Illinois Fire Safety Alliance and the Office of the State Fire Marshal to be able to offer free smoke alarms to the residents of Oak Lawn. So with that, one last note on the dryers. Before you go to bed or before you leave the house, make sure none of your appliances are running, as if there is a fire in it. Most are contained to the unit itself, but if you're not home to realize that there is a fire in it, it's going to spread. Any questions on the two popular initiatives?
That's terrific.
Attacking here this fire prevention. We actually takes a month here in Oak Lawn with the 20,000 plus students we have.
That's an impressive agenda. We're very excited about it, and thank you very much for getting the word out.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you know, what you couldn't hear if you're listening at home, one of the comments from the audience was, don't forget when the time changes, freshen up those batteries in your devices. So good time to think about that. And let's hope for a very safe cold weather season as it approaches. I don't even want to think about cold weather, but Item 6 is 2018 Midnight Terror Haunted House presentation. Okay, so we're gonna not do that today. Is there anything we could announce on that? No? Okay, so we're gonna.
Mayor, maybe I can say something about it.
Okay,
Let me see. The 2018 Midnight Terror House presentation is on a house that, or actually a factory that's on 111th, just east of Central. It's one of the best,
it was rated #1 in the state.
#1 in the state for terror houses. I don't know, is that the right phrase for it? It's haunted house. I don't know. #1 in the state for haunted houses, and very close to the best in the country. It'll be opening soon. Please stop by and take a look. I understand from Steve that he was scared to death when he walked through. That's it.
Thank you. We're gonna move on then. Item 7 is approval of the meeting minutes for the regular meeting minutes 2018-16, dated September 11th, 2018. May I have a motion on item 7?
Motion approved.
Thank you, trustee Stalker. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Vorder is our second. Thank you. Any discussion? Let's take that vote, please.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Abstain.
Motion passes 401.
8, new business by village trustees. District 1, trustee Desmond.
Thank you. I have no new business.
Thank you. District 2, trustee Oliniechek.
I have no new business.
Trustee Streit, District 3.
No new business as well.
Thank you. District 4, trustee Vorder.
Yes, Mayor, I hate to break the cycle here, but I do have some new business.
Okay.
And on tonight's agenda, there are several variations to be voted on to trigger the 95th and Pulaski construction of a new and exciting development. This property, I've been on a long time, and I go back to the days when it was Kittyland. So I've seen it develop a number of different ways over the years. And sometimes they were controversial, as we know the history that happened there in the past year or two with a problem business. But I do think that what we're going to get here is going to be probably the best use of that property in my lifetime. The development is the gateway to Oak Lawn from the east, and it's important to develop it as an attractive commercial piece of property. Now, we've been promised that they'll be doing some modifications to the existing building. Maybe we'll have 4 or 5 retail stores in there, 2 or 3 outbuildings, which are house restaurants, and considerable landscaping, not only trees along 95th Street, but some walking paths, and we're going to take care of the sidewalk, okay, in the back there. I'd like to take the time to thank the staff for all the work they have done on this project. I want to thank you, Mayor, for your contributions. And if I can pat myself on the back, Mayor, I put a lot of time and effort into it. This is going to be a revenue source, a strong revenue source, hopefully, for Oak Lawn. And I think something that Oak Lawn can be very, very proud of. I see a whole new resurgence in interest in commercial development in this town. Some of it was spurred on by Steve Radis, our development coordinator. And a lot of it, I have to give credit to Christ Hospital. For us in the 4th District, we live in its shadow, and I think we're impacted a little bit more than the average resident with sirens and helicopters. But it provides 8,000 jobs. Those jobs pay a little bit better than the normal field. 20%, I'm told, of those people live in Oak Lawn. The 80% probably send some money here. So that $700 million development there has woke up the business community, the economic vitality of investing your money in Oak Lawn. So I'm happy to be part of it. And one other thing, myself and a few of these trustees last weekend went downtown for the Illinois Municipal League conferences. I went to about 5 or 6 of the conferences. I've been going to conferences ever since I got elected as a Park District Commissioner. But even as a police chief of patrol in the police department, I would go to these, and without a doubt, it is well spent money. I come back more educated and share the experiences to make me a better trustee when I talk and network with other trustees. So I want to thank my fellow trustees who went there. The mayor was there. She made a presentation on our liquor issue here in Oak Lawn, delivery of packaged liquor. It was well-attended conference. And Oak Lawn is moving forward, and I'm happy to be part of it. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. District 5, Trustee Stalker.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring an early notice that the Local Business Support and Development Commission is planning a realtors tour in concert with the Main Street Realty Group on November 14th between 1 and 3 p.m. in this very room. What we're trying to do is bring attention to the real estate that's being developed in the village of Oak Lawn. We're going to highlight some of our favorite businesses, which include Christ Hospital. We've got more new and used car dealers than many people. We're right behind Orland Park in that business area. We're going to talk about the sold-out shopping center, Stony Creek Promenade and 111th and Cicero. We're going to talk about that was being handled by Hamilton Partners. We're going to talk about the new development at 95th and Pulaski that's being developed by the Hubbard Group. And I think it's going to be a great program for realtors. It's going to bring attention to the village of Oak Lawn, and I'm really looking forward to it. If you want more information, you can talk to me or Steve Radis. We're getting ready to go. Also, I want to thank the people who attended Hawktoberfest last September 15th at St. Linus. It was really well attended. The kids had a great time on the football field with blow-up games and prizes, and it was great support for the school. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to move on to 9, Village Manager's Report. Larry?
Nothing to add, Mayor.
Thank you. Item 10 is a consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are routine or have been brought forward at the direction of the Board of Trustees and will be enacted with one motion. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. 10A is a request to approve the Planning and Development Commission referral for a site plan approval, 17.92 feet setback variation, stall length variation at 4031 West 95th Street. This was an 8-0 vote to approve petition 2018-27 HSG-KRE Oak Lawn Property Owner LLC is the petitioner in District 4. B is ordinance 18-1766, an ordinance approving setback and stalling variations at 4031 West 95th Street. HSG KRE Oak Lawn Property Owner LLC is the petitioner. C is a request to approve the Planning and Development Commission referral for a 51.22% parking variation at 4031 West 95th Street. This was an 8-0 vote to approve. Petition number 2018-28 HSG KRE Oak Lawn Property Owner LLC is the petitioner in District 4. D, like David, is ordinance 18-1767, ordinance approving a parking variation at 4031 West 95th Street. HSG KRE Oak Lawn Property Owner LLC is the petitioner. E is a request to approve the Planning and Development Commission referral for 4 signs and a 1,734.4 square feet of freestanding sign face variation at 4031 West 95th Street. This was an 8-0 vote to approve. Petition number 2018-29, HSG KRE Oak Lawn Property Owner LLC is the petitioner in District 4. F is ordinance 18-1768, an ordinance approving 4 signs and a 1,734.4 square feet of freestanding sign face variation at 4031 West 95th Street. HSG KRE Oak Lawn Property Owner LLC is the petitioner. G is a request to approve the Planning and Development Commission referral for exterior wall construction variation at 4031 West 95th Street. This was an 8-0 vote to approve. Petition 2018-30 HSG KRE Oak Lawn is the property owner. LLC is the petitioner in District 4. H is ordinance 18-1769, An ordinance approving an exterior wall construction variation at 4031 West 95th Street, HSG, KRE Oak Lawn property owner, comma, LLC is the petitioner. I'd like a motion, please, on item 10.
Motion to approve.
Trustee Warder made that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Stalker. Any discussion?
Mayor, I believe we have some representatives that do a presentation.
Sure.
For the audience.
Liz, would you like to come up and introduce your team and say anything you care to? This is Liz Butler with Hubbard Street Group. And if you could state your name.
Good evening, Mayor, Clerk Quinlan, Manager Deachin. My name is Liz Butler from the law firm of DLA Piper at 444 West Lake Street in Chicago. I represent the property owner and applicant for this matter, HSG KRE Oak Lawn Property Owner, LLC, who is the applicant for site plan approval and certain variations that are required to develop the subject property as proposed. I'm joined by representatives of the developer, John McClendon, Cage Brown, and Scott Scoder. As described by Manager Deachin and our trustee, the applicant is proposing to substantially rehabilitate the subject property that you may know as the former site of a Kmart and a former location of Chuck E. Cheese. The applicant is intending to minimize the size of the existing big box store in order to substantially enhance the landscaping and parking on the site, and to construct 4 new retail outlet buildings. The Planning and Development Commission held a public hearing last week and recommended approval unanimously for the site plan as proposed and the requested variation. John McClendon is here and he can say a few words, and our team is available to answer any questions you may have about the proposal.
Thank you. Mr. McClendon, welcome. How are you?
Yeah, thank you. It's good to be here again, and we appreciate the support we received from the Plan Commission. And as you know, we acquired this property earlier this year. We have been working very diligently with staff in order to create, what we believe is a quality site plan to substantially improve this asset. It's I think, a very distinctive and very important piece of property, both for this village as well as for us, and we want to make sure that we do it right. And so we've taken the last, if you will, 5 months or so to come up with what we'll call the master plan, the development plan for this property, and it represents some substantial improvements. You probably will not recognize it, when it's completed, because really everything on the property will be changed. There are two of the out parcels which will remain because they have long-term leases. But we are creating 4 new out parcels, all brand new buildings with quality materials. As noted, we are cutting back the Kmart building substantially, which creates a bigger parking fields. It allows us to create a lot of landscaping, allows us to create a more monumental entry for this development. The entire parking lot is being improved. Landscaping is being installed not only within the parking lot, but along the entire perimeter of the property. We're improving the entrance to the property with some new signage as opposed to what's there right now. Same number of signs as noted, but a quality in terms of the improvement of the style and design of those signs. The underground detention system we're putting in will help with the entire stormwater management program, for this area. And then the building at back will contain 4 new tenants. They will be what we consider in the industry kind of a mid-sized box of 25 to 40,000 square feet, a variety of uses, and we are working quite actively with a number of tenants, both for the outlots, the 4 outlots, as well as 4 mid-size box tenants in the back. That entire new facade will be put on the old Kmart building. Again, it's going to be cut back substantially, about 75 feet. But in the front facing 95th Street will be a brand new facade with new materials, upgraded substantially. we're excited about the project. We hope in terms of, with respect to timing, that we can start the demolition in early 2019, at least sometime in the first quarter of 2019. And we would hope that the first tenants could be opened by the end of next year, and then probably into the first quarter of the following year. So we are moving quickly. I'd also like to report that there is a lot of interest in tenants in what we're trying to do. It takes us a lot, it requires us to put a lot of money into this development. I noted in my remarks to Plan Commission that we probably will be spending a total of $30 to $40 million. That is required in order to get the type of tenants that we're looking for. But we're going to be making that commitment to do so. I cannot reveal any tenant names at this time, but as soon as we do have some signed leases, we will clearly be speaking with the staff and be able to divulge that to you, and I think you'll be pleased with the results. I'm available to answer any questions. I could talk for an hour about the project, but I don't want to.
Yeah, I just want to say, Mr. McClendon,
at this time.
yeah, thank you for coming out. You guys went through some weather, I understand, coming here. I really appreciate that you could be here. This is something residents are so excited about, too. And I just want to thank you, first of all, for your investment in our community. We are thrilled. I also want to say thank you for coming and working with our team early on. You met with Trustee Vorder, our village manager, and our whole team to see what was realistic, what was doable, and you really presented us with something that takes all those concerns into account. We really appreciate that professionalism, and I think, you know, I want residents to know that, that you were very proactive in that regard, and just a pleasure to kind of get to this point with so far. So we're really excited. Any other comments?
Yeah, I think everybody in Oak Lawn is going to be very happy with the shopping center. This, do you have a site plan?
Yeah, I do.
You know, if you'd hold up the site plan, you can take a look at it, and you'll see that the amount of landscaping and the
If you could,
use of space is just amazing. The white.
Yeah. Yeah, and the camera, actually, for the people who will watch on YouTube, is in the back corner there, so make sure they can see it, too.
Right in front of the mayor. Hold it up.
Hold it over me, yeah. Turn it around, though. Yep, there you go. I know what it looks like.
Worked on it.
So if you could,
95th Street.
so 95th Street,
And we have Pulaski, excuse me.
and Pulaski is over there.
And we have, this is 95th, I'm sorry, I had it upside down.
95th Street's here.
This is the old Kmart building. Currently, the Kmart building is a larger building that comes out much further. This is the existing bank building, this is the existing restaurant, and another existing bank building that's not part of our development. But these are the 4 out parcels. This is flanking the drive coming in. Again, the landscaping along the entire perimeter and all the major drive lanes, and then landscaping within interior parking areas. This building would be divided into 4 different units. So at the end, we will have 4 new tenants, which are the mid-sized box type of tenants.
Yeah.
And we'll have 4 restaurants. We are targeting a sit-down restaurant, table service for this spot right here, which is the largest restaurant, and some fast casual restaurants or coffee shops for the other out parcels. I'd like to just take a quick.
Yeah. Oscar, are you able to pick up the audio for what they're saying at all from the mics? Or is there a portable mic we could use? Yeah, I just want to make sure people can see and hear. This is really exciting.
This is the.
If you could hold on just for a second, he's going to get you a microphone.
Thank you. The existing condition is what you can see here, which is the existing Kmart building, which again is much deeper building, one large building with that's not very attractive, and a sea of parking in front of it. with little or no landscaping from edge to property to the other edge of the property. And so this building, again, will be cut back substantially. And there's two tenants that are in that building right now, that Pep Boys and Lumber Liquidators, which will not be part of the new development. And then I think if I could show first of all the trustees, a couple of rendering of the new development. These are the buildings in the back, as you can see there, the outlots in the front, and the main drive lane coming in. Turn it around here for everyone else to see. But this is a rendering. What we anticipate, and a lot of the retail tenants that we're talking with, instead of just having one big building in back, they like their own identities. It's important to them to have their own branding here. And so in their own branding, each of those facades will look like a separate building. They'll each have their own character to those buildings and use a similar palette and a similar, they'll be in harmony with each other in terms of architecturally, but we'll each have a distinctive look. And so that's what's depicted here. And again, each of those tenants will have a palette of materials that we've selected to be able to work with in terms of creating that rhythm, so it looks more like a street front as opposed to an ordinary shopping center.
Thank you. And
any other questions?
I just want to say, before you had the microphone, you were talking about the restaurants and the outbuildings, and one of them would be fine dining. And did I see one rendering with outdoor dining also?
Yeah, we did. We do have, I don't know if you can see it here, but between the two, there was one situation I'm going to show you here, then I'll turn it around again. Mm-hmm. There's two buildings which are outlots that are lined up, next to each other, north-south. And in the middle of it is kind of a landscaped seating area, gathering area, if you will. And it can either be, we're talking with some coffee shops or fast casual, where people can sit outside in some shelter by the buildings and possibly some type of trellis above to be able to enjoy whatever food they have in good weather. So yes, we have that opportunity there. And then there's another, one of the other restaurants, fast casuals, would also have the ability for some outdoor seating. The restaurants, as everybody knows, it's not as if I can snap my finger and say, this is who I want and you come here. So it is a process that we're going through back and forth, and we're in the midst of it right now. And one of the interesting things which occurs, and this is why it's an important point where we are right now in terms of showing them the quality that we're going to have here, is that a lot of tenants, they will come only with the right co-tenancy. And by co-tenancy, meaning they'll come if these other type of tenants also are coming, and they'll actually name them. And so everybody wants to come if it's the right tenancy. If we've got the wrong tenancy, we had something that was not of the quality that we envision here and anticipate, then we're not going to be able to get them. So they kind of come a little bit in herds, if you will. And so that's the delicate process that we're going through right now and trying to work with the right group of tenants. So again, there'll be a group of them that will fit together, and they will enhance each other's business, if you will. There'll be some synergy between them in terms of the type of demographic and the type of customer that they'll be trying to attract, if that makes sense.
Wonderful.
So, all right.
Any discussion from trustees?
Good. I'm anxious to vote.
Thank you.
Let's get going.
Okay, we're eager to vote on it, I hear.
Okay,
So
well, thank you.
very much. I appreciate it. And with that, we're going to call the vote. This is agenda item 10.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. I'd like a motion, village managers requested that item 11 not be discussed, be pulled from the agenda. Do I need a motion from the board for that?
So moved.
Thank you. That was trustee Stalker, seconded by trustee Vorder. Any discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
It's just 5-0 to pull off.
Okay. Item 12, appeal of a favorable decision by the Appeals Board request for a side yard variation at 9648 South 49th Avenue. This was a 6-0 vote to approve petition number A 2018-7. Audrey Bukowski is the petitioner, and Jackie Solis is the objector in District 3. May I have a motion on 12, please?
Yes, Mayor.
Thank you. Trustee Straight.
Move to uphold the unanimous decision of the Appeals Board
Okay, we have a,
at the side yard variation. I
Okay.
believe that the person that filed the resident that filed the appeal is here, probably wants to address it.
okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Trustee Desmond is our second. Any discussion? Sure, come up to the podium if you'd like and just say a few words.
Thank you.
And please state your name.
I'm Jackie Solis, and I live next door to 9648. And I've got some pictures that I'd like you to look at if you could.
I actually went over there and looked at the house.
Thank you.
What's your position? I don't see where there's a complicated problem. Yeah, no. This is construction, this is construction. I see. I see the trustee.
Here, I looked. That's, I'll let you give those to someone else who doesn't have them. Thank you.
This is the walkway I saw. It goes right up to here. What's the issue, Bob?
Wiping me out.
Nice catch. Did you say what's the issue?
Would you pass those down?
Here I have.
I'm asking to appeal that favorable decision because basically there's two styles of house that are involved here. Ours is a long ranch, theirs is a square Cape Cod, and our house is just 9 feet away from this deck. The deck is made of wood, it's got a wooden base, and it's over very old concrete. The whole thing has concrete underneath it that's very old. When they were constructing this, it was constructed by her son. And when I saw what was happening, because the concrete is pitched towards our house, and the base that it's built on is pitched towards our house, and you can see in those pictures that the deck is pitched. It's in the corners, it's pitched towards our house.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a deck, the adjoining, the house next door, and it's pitched away from their house, which would naturally be toward your house.
Well, no, it should be pitched out to their yard, because our house butts up against their backyard.
Okay.
It's got two houses across from each other and 2 yards across from each other. Our house is across from their
So
yard
this deck is being built on top of a concrete slab. How long is it?
for quite some time. Even the owner at the appeals meeting said that it was in bad shape. And when it was uncovered, when they were constructing this, you could see the slope, and you can see the slope in the wood is sloping because the concrete underneath it is pitched towards our house.
The water's going to continue to drain the way the concrete goes.
Right, which is towards our property. Even the sidewalk, as you can see in.
And this concrete has been there for quite some time. So what is the effect of the wooden deck going to be?
Well, both the concrete and the deck are, the previous deck that she had wasn't sloped towards our house, wasn't pitched our way. But the new deck is, and you can see it in the picture. Picture number 5 and 6 shows that deck, look at it. You can see the pitch in it. And picture number 6, the concrete, on either side, you can see the left side, the right side. My house is where the hostas are, and look at the concrete there. It's so much lower than the concrete on the right
I would
side.
very much, I admit that I did not look at this. And I would very much like to understand what you're saying, but these pictures don't tell the story. You might know exactly what's going on, but unfortunately, I do not. I would prefer to defer this.
I did have an opportunity to
Trustee
go
Ward.
there and take a look at this. Nobody was home at either house. But we're talking about a concrete slab that's been there for 40 years. And these boards have been laid on the slab, correct? Which just reflects the pitch that's been there forever. And then they put this composite material on the boards. rather than replace concrete, I'm
Right.
assuming. They
Right.
gave it a more wooden deck. By the way, your yard is just plain gorgeous.
Oh,
And so is her yard, actually exceedingly gorgeous. But I couldn't see where the complaint was at. It seems to me, and this deck is maybe only 8, 9 feet that it butts up your property. The rest of it's just open landscape, right?
Well, her deck is like 11 feet by, I don't know, probably a good 16 feet.
16 feet
'Cause
abutting
my
to your
patio-
property.
My patio is 12
Okay.
by 16.
And the only difference here is that our ordinances restrict this material to be 3 feet from their property line, but nothing restricts the concrete from being 3 feet, correct?
Well, except that, when they were building this, I asked to have an inspector come out to look at it, because when I saw what was going on with the concrete underneath it and what they were building, the base, you could see, the base is in those pictures, you can see the base is pitched towards our house. So I called to get an inspector. I told them that an inspector was coming, but they wouldn't stop building. And it was finished in 2 days. The inspector went to the wrong house, and by the time the inspector got there, it was finished. So I tried to stop this process before it was completed, but they weren't really going along with that. And now I'm left with concrete, a lot of concrete that's pitched towards our house.
Which has
And-
been pitched that way forever.
Right, but it should be fixed, because when, she had a deck there before that, which was not pitched towards our house, but I didn't see the construction process at that time like I did now. Now I see all this concrete that's, sending water our way, and it should be corrected. It shouldn't be left like that.
Madam Mayor,
The side of the house, the sidewalk,
Trustee Oliniechek, yeah.
when
the
you're done.
sidewalk on the
If the
side.
trustee can speak,
Oh,
please,
sorry.
thanks.
I didn't-
Yeah.
So as I'm looking at this picture, if you'd like to come and take a look,
Which
the
one?
house,
Which number?
picture number 1.
Number 1, okay.
Picture number 1. The house with the beautiful flowers next to the house with the gate that's got the note on it. So the one that has the gate that has the cement here, that's the one that you're concerned about water runoff?
Well, it's not only that sidewalk, but that deck is built on concrete that's pitched towards our house also, and our house is just
It looks like, just from the picture you gave me, it looks like the elevation of your house is a little bit higher. And is that your downspout coming off of your land over to theirs?
Take a look at the other pictures that are there. That downspout has those brown accordion extenders, and it takes that downspout and it empties out behind our garage. So there
But
are pictures that are
But
within that.
if you're worried about the water flow, aren't you taking water flow off of your house going to a lower elevation? Even though you're taking it off your house, you're taking it down a property line, but it seems like you're directing the water flow towards their property line.
It's not towards their property, it's behind our garage.
I don't know if it's, does that look like?
There's some other pictures of,
Number 7, maybe.
yeah, number 7 and 8. There's 2 downspout pictures showing that downspout empties behind our garage. It's a ranch house, so we're kind of limited as to what we can do with our gutters. Don McKenna was out and looked at our concrete when it was poured, because a comment was made to me that we have a huge patio, and our patio is actually the same size as her deck. And when that concrete was
If you could
poured-
speak in the microphone,
sorry.
it's
Yeah,
just
but-
helpful for people.
When the,
Can I go back to this? Even in 7 and 8, water is gonna go to its point of the lowest resistance. So your property line actually is sloped towards theirs in order for that water to go low and then to try to direct it out towards the alley. So
that's,
your property line, even from your pictures and what your explanation, that you're actually higher than the people that are next to you, that you're worried about the water coming to your property.
actually, when you are in the 2 yards, her property is much higher than our property is. We're the ones that are low. We're level, I'm a corner house, so we're level with the public sidewalk. Her yard is much higher than our yard is. And Don McKenna saw that downspout, when he was out looking at our concrete right after it was poured, and he said that it's fine the way it is and it doesn't have to be changed. In fact, I just talked to him about that like a
I'm
month
just
ago.
confused over when water is flowing, it's gonna go to its lowest point. And it seems to me from all the pictures, these are your pictures, I didn't take them. It seems to me that you sit up higher than,
I'm not higher. She's higher. I'm lower. Where do you see that she's lower than our property?
well, just where that sidewalk is that you gave me the first picture. This one right here, you can
Picture
clear.
number one, I'm the low side. She's the high side.
Does that look?
I'm the red house.
Does that look low? Well, this is pitched toward the property. Yeah, you're higher than where the sidewalk is.
Okay.
I'm lower.
Okay, we're gonna just continue the conversation because we can't determine it from photos.
I have one more comment.
Trustee Warder.
You know, I went and looked at this. Even if we force or revoke her permit to remove the wood from her concrete, there's nothing that we can do about the concrete that's been there for 50 years. Do you expect us to force her to remove that concrete?
Well, I asked Don McKenna about this very issue, about having something done about that concrete. And he said, when it's out in the open and we see it, yes, there are things we can do about it. The problem is that the inspector didn't get there before they finished, and they wouldn't wait for the inspector to come, and it was only 2 days.
The reports I have from the inspectors say that there is no issues here with your property being flooded. Has there been incidents of your property being flooded?
We haven't had any water, but when I saw what was going on with the concrete, I don't want to, our weather keeps getting worse and worse. In our springs, we have huge downpours and for long periods of time. And I don't want to, why do I have to get to the point of having damage when somebody's got a lot of concrete that is not being pitched the right way?
Thank you very much.
Trustee
I'm going to
Warder?
call the vote.
Yeah, I just want to say, a village building inspector and village sewage manager both reviewed the walk and believe the walk is not directing rainwater onto the neighboring property.
Okay, so trustee Straight, we're voting on, you have made a motion to uphold the decision of the appeals board. So that means that the deck would stay, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so a yes vote means the deck will stay, a no vote means the deck will not stay. Okay, is that correct, Paul?
Well, no, you're appealing, so it would be a vote
Back to the appeal
no.
board, if it's a no vote. If it gets over,
Okay,
it would go back to the appeal board.
okay.
But then
So I just want everyone to know what they're voting on. A yes vote means
The deck stays.
the deck stays. Okay, a no vote means they go back to the appeal board.
so yes vote would agree with you.
Okay,
Yes vote would agree with the appeal.
correct.
Right.
Correct,
So a no vote would deny the appeal.
Right.
correct. A no vote will send it back to
No,
appeals.
that would be it.
No. No, something
Okay.
That would be it, I'm sorry,
Okay.
you're right. That would be
Okay.
it, because it's from the
Okay,
appeal board, I'm sorry.
okay, thank you.
Appeal.
So a yes vote means the deck stays, a no vote means,
No, you're incorrect, I think.
It's an appeal of a favorable decision.
Right.
So if she
So
appeals it, it's a favorable, and we vote yes.
so the motion was to uphold the
And just so we know, this, we need a supermajority on this one.
All right, is the people that own the deck in the audience?
Is the other party here? No? Okay. And that would be Bukowski. Okay. Okay, so just to be clear, if you vote yes on this, the deck stays. Is that correct, Paul?
Yes.
Okay,
Upholding the decision of the appeal board.
okay. I just don't want anyone confused by double negative. Let's call that vote, and thank you for coming out, and those were great photos. Thank you.
Trustee Warder,
Yes.
Trustee Straight,
Yes.
Trustee Stalker,
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek,
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Okay.
Passes 5-0.
Thank you anyway, Jackie. Thank you. Item 13, appeal of an adverse decision by the Planning and Development Commission requesting a lot area, lot width, corner side yard setback, front yard setback, impervious coverage surface, and lot variation at 5801 West 89th Place. This was an 8-1 vote to deny petition number 2018-21. George Arnold is the petitioner in District 2. May I have a motion, please, on item 13? So, a motion,
I'll motion to uphold the denial.
okay, so,
Second.
we have a motion by trustee Oliniechek, seconded by trustee Vorderer to uphold the appeals court decision to deny that petition. Any discussion here?
Mayor, this is a 30-foot lot. I think that extraordinarily small piece of property to build a home on in this village, which is normally minimum 45 feet, am I correct? 45
I think,
feet?
yeah,
It's a pretty small piece of property to build a big home on.
okay. Any other discussion? Pardon? Okay. Yeah, it looks like counsel for the petitioners here. Should there be any questions? Okay, hearing no questions, I'm going to call that vote.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Motion passes 5.
Okay, thank you for coming. That was a motion to uphold the denial that took place in the appeals.
Just to be clear, and we don't have an opportunity to be heard, which is,
It's a Board of Trustees meeting, so if there was discussion, you were available. I noted that you were available should they
Okay.
have questions. Yeah, that's,
thank you.
I'm sorry. Thank you. It's confusing. Okay, that brings us now to item 15, Village Clerk's Report.
Approval of semi-monthly disbursements, number 2018-18D, dated September 25th, 2018, in the amount of $2,649,024.89.
Thank you. May I have a motion on 14A, please?
Motion to pay the bills.
Thank you. Trustee Warder made that motion. Trustee Stalker is our second. Any discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Motion passes. One more thing, Mayor. For the November 6th, 2018 gubernatorial election, the last day to register to vote in the Oak Lawn Clerk's Office is October 9th. And we will also be having early voting beginning October 22nd and ending on November 5th, right in this auditorium. So anybody that needs any info, it's on our village website, and you can also go to the Cook County Clerk's website for any further information. So please come out and vote, and I'll reiterate this at the next meeting also. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Voting is very important, so. Okay, 15, Village President's Report. We have an appointment. This is the Local Business Support and Development Commission. We'd like to appoint Mr. John Benware to that commission. May I have a motion on 15A, please?
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Trustee Stalker. Second.
Second.
Trustee Streit beat you to it that time. Any discussion?
I'd just like to mention that John Benoit has been a very active member of the Architectural Design and Review Board for quite some time, and will be a real asset to the local business development. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's call the vote, please, on 15A.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. 15B is another appointment. This is to the Police Pension Board. Patrick O'Donnell. May I have a motion? And
Motion to approve.
Trustee Oliniechek made that motion.
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Desmond. Excuse me. Any discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Streit?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Under General Village Matters, I want to thank the Oak Lawn Business Development Team for their hard work behind the scenes. You guys really are rocking it. Many people stop me on the street and say, hey, can you move to our suburbs? We have nothing going on, and, you know, we love what's happening in Oak Lawn. There's a lot of wonderful construction taking place, and it's a dedicated team that's pro-business, and I want to thank all of you. I want to thank our police, fire, and emergency communications department, as well as Advocate Christ Medical Center. We had a full-scale drill this weekend that was probably the most complicated thing ever attempted in the state of Illinois, according to the Department of Public Health. It involved over 800 participants from 4 states, and it tested our systems. We learned a lot from it. We're still analyzing all the data, but I want to thank the residents for their understanding. It did inconvenience some people on Sunday, but it's really, really important to do these things. I want to thank all our first responders and Public Works also for helping to make that happen. It was, from an observer's point of view, fascinating to see how the team works together, learns, and I think we're very, very blessed in the village of Oak Lawn to have these awesome people on our team. I want to thank the trustees and our treasurer for attending the IML conference. It was really fun. We have a lot of new ideas. I've asked those who participated to kind of share what they got from it, and maybe we can implement some of the new things that we saw there. And with that, I think I'm going to go to item 16, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Olenichek. I was wondering. We have a motion by Trustee Olenichek. Do I have a second?
Second.
Trustee Stalker is our second. Any discussion? Call the vote, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you. We're adjourned at 8:31 PM. Thank you, everyone.
Gang?